Welcome to part 3. So I go to paint this fantail part clear from the inside, and from there, and look what happens. These port lights are literally in line with this back piece, which makes me wonder why they bothered to sort of clear it anyway. So what I'm going to have to do is drill out a big mouth here in this brittle clear plastic so that I can just paint the back of this piece here. Quite a pain, considering the last time I tried to drill a clear piece of plastic from this kit, it split on me and it was unusable. I could use the opaque piece, but that would mean I would need to do the same thing, and then using a pin vise drill out these same ports and colour them. Canopy glue them and then paint them from the back or something like that, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass. So I'm just going to try my best and drill out a section of that. Ugh, annoying. I thought I was done with the annoying stuff. I probably said something out loud, that's why. So moving on from that. So I decided that my impulse engines were too bright. So what I did is, and I'm thinking I'm going to probably do this a couple more times, I just flat coated them from, with this, just flat coated them from the outside this time, as I've already been flat coated from the inside. So I'm just giving the impulse engines a bit of a treatment, and also I painted the coloured port here, just using a clear, I think it was an orange, and I still have to sort of tidy up these blackened out windows. They're kind of difficult because the window inserts are mostly all one piece, so blacking out one particular window is a little more challenging, and I didn't want to. Maybe I should have actually broken up the windows that I wanted to black out into individual segments so I could tulip around the edges of the parts, but I sort of might have to deal with that. You could argue that it's a little more realistic because a dark room wouldn't probably look just completely jet black from every corner. There might be little highs and lows, and I'll just sort of turn a little bit down the way. And so if you can see that longer window, well, maybe not on footage, but in person there's a bit of light coming through, so I don't know, maybe it looks a little more interesting. Right, the sun is shining outside. Naturally I'm inside working on this model, and I'm about to start firing up the soldering iron so I can get my cell pylon connections all finalized and actually start getting the secondary hull together. Right, so I've actually solved a couple of problems, the first of which being this shuttle bay piece, and I thought I'd actually take you through the process since I'm actually doing that now. I just took the clear part actually and hogged out, and I guess I can take this crap off now. Very prepared. Right, so I just took the clear part and hogged out like a horseshoe area, and I know people take the whole thing off, but because it's all clear, all I need is a lens at the back. The rest of the light should transmit by itself. And so all I did was, as you can see, I've already drilled it, and I just coloured it from the back, and I'm just in the process now of just scratching off the primer. I didn't even bother with masks or anything. I'll try and do this on camera, it's a little difficult, But this is all I'm doing. I'm just scratching the paint off. And basically it's revealing, and I just dodged a falling knife there. It's basically revealing this sort of thing. So obviously I'd be doing a bit more white blocking and stuff, but I needed to make sure that this technique would work, and it looks like it is. So sorry, photon torpedo effect there, but it looks like this is going to work out fine. So maybe the clear piece is okay, but all you need to do is fill out a horseshoe piece. You don't need to cut the whole thing apart. So I'm going to continue scratching off the rest of the plastic, and we'll have a finished, well, you know what I mean, a near finished piece. Right, so I've just got the mock piece installed, and as you can see, it turned out really damn well. Obviously this isn't the final colour of everything, so you might be asking why I bothered to scratch off anything at this stage, and that's just simply because it's easier to scratch through primer after you've put it on than it is after you've primed and put 3 coats of paint on a part. So what I've done with this is just scratch it off now, so that when I primer it again I can scratch it off once again, and the goal is once I put my airbrush colour on, it should be really sort of simple to scratch off that. So moving down from the shuttle bay, I wanted to talk about these parts, and these are obviously the bussard collectors, and I've been mulling over this for quite a few days now, in between work on the model. When the model's lit up, everything looks excellent and great, but when it's off, it just looks like this clear plastic here, and it doesn't. I mean, it's off, you can tell, but it doesn't look like the Enterprise to me, and I want it to look like the Enterprise even when it's not on. And there's a particular modeler out there who actually has this effect on his bussards, and I think they look amazing. I did ask him. I did try and ask him what his process was, but I don't know. I haven't heard back. But I thought, screw it. I'm gonna go and try and find out how to do it myself. And I had a few pictures and a few ideas, and it looks to be pretty much how the original studio model was anyway. So I thought that was quite good, and I really loved the effect. He did a great job, and I was mulling things over, and I thought about using the Tamiya clears, and just from doing a bit of research and looking at the studio model, that's really not the look. It's not a glossy clear colour or anything, it's a frosted sort of hemisphere. So I simply mixed up a couple of colours through my airbrush and put it over top of the dull coat that I had on this, and I might put a dull coat on this again just to seal this, because this is matte colour, this is really fragile. I keep it in a bag now, these two parts separated, but it's just simply a mixture of Tamiya red and brown, and the goal is, and in my experience airbrush colours always come out lighter than, is it lighter? Yeah, lighter than what it looks in the bowl. So my colour that I mixed up pretty much looked brown by the time I had it all mixed up in the cup, but it comes out this oxidized sort of red colour. And what I'm going to do is I've got my nacelle mocked up here next to the shuttle bay, and I'm going to fire it up and show you what it looks like on film. So here it is, all going again with the rate the video records. The effect looks slower, the cage is moving, but it pretty much looks exactly in person how it does on screen, which is kind of amazing for anything with lights in it. It is quite, I'm pretty happy with it. You can still see the blues and greens behind there. Don't really know what else to say. I'm really quite happy with it. And when it's off, it still looks, now I'll unplug this while I'm talking about it, when it's off, it still looks like the Enterprise. In fact, it looks a lot like the smaller 32-inch studio model. So I think these are the colour for the bussards, or even the pilot tones, I don't know, but this definitely fulfills what I wanted. So after thinking I'd sorted this problem, I went back and sort of started to relax tonight after tea, and I was just sort of looking at some more pictures of the studio model, and there's just some residue on the inside there I have to clear, but I decided that my bussards were too red and they weren't peachy orange enough, so I'm going to be mixing up a combination of these three colours, I think, in an attempt to get something a little closer to the orange, a little tiny bit of red, maybe a bit of yellow. I don't know, I'm just going to have to do some experimenting, but basically if I'm happy with the look of it on a scrap piece, I'll go with that. The good thing is I know exactly how to get the look, I just need to come up with the correct colour, which shouldn't be too hard. So here she is all lit up. I'm much happier with this. It's more, as I say, orange shifted, and because I changed the colour, I found that I was just still a little unhappy with a combination of the colours that I'd chosen for inside the dome, and just how bright everything looked. And basically things aren't bright enough in there, so I don't know if this did anything, but I added some aluminum foil to the inside of the dome. It probably didn't do anything, but the main thing I did was I changed out some of the bulbs in here, and I went back to what I had in the first place, and I had some of these smaller LED points totally exposed, and that yellow gold colour contrasts a lot with the orange, and I think it looks quite original series to me. But I left some of the coloured ones in, which you unfortunately really can't see any longer, and I'm just deciding I'm going to leave it as is, because I could fuss with this until the end of time. So I'm just going to leave it how it is, and be happy that I came out with a dome colour that I'm actually happy with. And as you can see, when it's off, when the nacelle's off, it still has that original series look, and I'm quite happy with it now. So that does it for this episode. Thanks very much for watching. Join me on the next one, and we should have something even more exciting to look at. Thanks for watching.